Yeah, absolutely. He should have jumped on that. He should have gone. And you were like, go that way. But he wasn't. And that's why. The more you guys are just cutting each other off, every chance is gone. Right? What we're doing is we're cutting the lane and then shoulder. And you're going, oh, someone's there. If you're cut under, as someone up the line, and you almost beat him, or he almost beat you, right? So
Here we go. We should be ready to go now. We've got audio, we've got video, we've got Canada, and more importantly, we've got Ireland. Great to see them here. And I apologize if I'm a little bit loud or a little bit quiet. We're just fixing up those audio issues. So far, it hasn't been easy for Canada. And there's a lady going deep, which means there should be a poach available.
I just want to make sure.
Way to pull back that throw. Canada using the foot blocks, using their feet. This is a break, unfortunately. A lot of upfield pressure, and we didn't see the stack moving much for Ireland. So maybe something that they need to work on. Canada's been playing their D-line pretty much this whole game. They've been able to get the turns, but very messy upfield. And typically, that's what's happened, is that there's been run down, and then just the last moment, Canada either drops it or misses it by a little bit. That looked like it was a sure goal, but the Irish defender booting it back and putting the pressure on. Good morning if you are joining us from North America. Good evening if you're joining us from Ireland. Well, not good evening, sorry, good afternoon. It's not that far away. Good grab, low to the ground there. And Canada doing this poach off that's preventing lane movement. And puck goes up, it's going to be a bit short. Ooh, very close. Peter Yu going to be picking this up, number 24. His handling partner there. Not quite sure, but looks like.
Yeah, that's it, Ross. Yeah, boom it, Ross. Boom it, Ross. I'll tell you it's coming, Ross. I'll tell you it's coming. Keep an eye on him, Ross. Only him, Ross. Don't worry about the disc, Ross.
Close side. Good grab by Pete. Puck goes up to space. And she gets a huge grab. But unfortunately, it's OB. It is OB. Players rushing the field a little bit. Just gonna adjust our camera. Here, make sure that we get this bottom sideline. That's our panning angle now. Orange numbers make it difficult to see who each player is in Ireland, but I'll try to do my best.
Good switch, you're on 27, Josh. Josh, the only one's out here. Yeah, the only one's out. JJ!
There's a little bit of conversation going on. The bottom. The off handler. Wanted to huck it. Oh, tough drop there. There's a bit of dew on the grass this morning, so disc slipperier than what most players have been used to. Greer Hunt there doing an over the top.
go, TC! Yeah, get in front of them. This side is safe! Middle, middle! All day, all day.
It's a little bit high. It could be run down.
Oh, nice pressure. Go down. Nice, no lines, I go.
Timeout called, and it's a good call by Mr. Hunt.
24-45.
So good morning if you're watching from Canada. Good afternoon if you're from Ireland. Good evening if you're from further east. Thank you for joining us here at the I Am Ultimate morning live stream. Hopefully the quality is better today. We've managed to scrounge out a little bit of bandwidth somehow, somewhere, and we hope that that stays with us throughout the day. Thank you to the volunteers for being here up and early every morning, and especially this one. The first full day of competition. It can be tough overall, but I think we're in decent shape. Game following this one, I'll get you the full schedule, which we are actually getting from the Ulti-Apps page, which you can find at ultiapps.com/WU23. And here we are on July 23rd. The other game of note in the mixed division right now is Germany versus Japan. Japan, the A2 team. Also in the same pool as these teams. An upset over Canada yesterday. Both Canada and Japan, very strong teams. It was expected that it would be a close game, and it was. Jay Wu telling me that it's, and really telling everyone on Facebook that tons of layouts, fantastic plays from both sides. So far in this game, Canada leads 3-0. Next game coming up in the next time slot will be Canada versus Japan in the open division, or men's division, and that will feature on the Next Gen Network. So if you want that stream, pop over and check it out. Following that, at 1300, we don't know which game we're going to be bringing you. It could be Australia versus the United States in mixed. It could be Venezuela versus Colombia, or Chinese Taipei versus Great Britain. We're leaning towards Venezuela versus Colombia, and we will try to bring you that game. If you are watching and you want to see that, or you have a preference amongst the three, please let us know. Good set play here, and just faded away. The wind today, if we look out at the flags, and it appears the field's actually shifted slightly, which is strange, but the flag's fairly gentle. But it is the same wind that we've had every single day. Canada coach John Hayduke grabbing the cone, getting out of the way. Good dump defense. Trying to go up line. Now she gets open. That is good. Bail. But not really an issue there in the end. Good heads up play. And an interception by number 24, Peter Yu, sent to number 19, Greer Hunt, who had originally called that timeout. So the schedule for today, pretty much up in the air. Following the game at 1300, we're looking at another open time slot, and we have to decide what to do in that space. And we have a number of open options. Right now, United States and Italy scheduled for that spot, but we are potentially changing it. timekeeper for this game is Kimberly Baxter. Kim recently had a birthday, and she's a teacher here locally in Ontario. Kim is plays just about 60 kilometers south of me, but quite a few players on all of these squads, well known around Ontario and around Canada. To give you the idea of size and scope of Canada, it takes about 5 hours to fly in a plane from end to end. Rumi Tejpar from out west with a big pull. Is it going to come back in is a question, and it doesn't. Ambitious from the young man. In case you didn't know, Rumi is the founder of B Ultimate, supplier of ultimate clothing. So the entrepreneur. Now in WFDF rules, they will either take the brick or they will take it on the sideline where it went out. They decide to take the brick. I apologize, it is actually 5 hours from Toronto to Vancouver, and Ontario and Toronto are closer to the middle. It's still another 2.5 hours to the other end. And so that makes it about 7.5 hours to fly end to end. Huck there, to space. But once again, what Ireland is facing is an issue with options. They're trying to dump and swing, but Canada has shut that down. And what Canada has on offense as a problem is that they're overthrowing their players. They have the options, but they're being ambitious with their speed. And they do need to be. They're coming off of a tough, fast game from yesterday, and Ireland is putting close pressure on, so if they do underthrow, there will be issues. Rumi wants to huck it, under pressure as you can see. Reset to Rumi again.
Oh my God.
There's a call. Back. And what's happened is that Rumi's saying that as he released it, he was hit on the elbow, and that prevented a full release and on the follow through. Now,
Fair enough. If you really think it's anyone.
and it's a contested D. He's coming back, and on the mark there is Brian Henderson. Oh, it is an uncontested foul. I do apologize. I'm being told from the sideline by Ms. Abrook. Far swing. Gets through in the reset position. Now we have it to Hugh Knapp.
Keep going, Emer. Come on, Emer.
Canada comfortable with these wide open swings and slightly bladey drumps, and a layout grab, and travel has been called though, and it comes all the way back to Rumi, as that's the travel call. His throw to Brian Yu denied. Bounces out of Hugo's hands. Wind gusting a little bit. Straight up mark, but set deep anyways. Oh, fantastic speed. Fantastic speed. And the hawk from Brian Henderson. Just perfect, hung in the air. We will find out who received it. Suggestion on the kit. It makes it hard to read the numbers. We need more contrast, please. I think the shorts are really nice, though. That's a really nice color of green that Ireland has for the shorts. Event staff, volunteers gonna head out, try to find out who caught that. And once we know, we'll let you know. Canada leads 4-1. So yes, as I was speaking, Canada's size, 7.5 hours to fly end to end. a quality plane, jet plane. We have players represented from that full spectrum. And as you can imagine, it takes quite a bit of effort to make that happen. Who was it?
56, Brian Henderson.
Who caught it though?
Brian Henderson.
Oh, who threw it? Who threw it? But who? O'Shea Murphy with the catch from Brian Henderson, number 35 with the catch. One of the things I love about World events, I've been to quite a few of them, is just how friendly everyone is. Zone from Ireland. Good movement from side to side. Opening a Rumi, putting it up line. Number 28, Tammy Chu. And a good attempt to go cross field, but once again, we're seeing the disc flying out faster. And there is a crosswind from the flags. It's a different wind. As I said, we had normally a south wind. It's been swirling, but this is coming now straight from the west. And that's the typical weather pattern here in southern Ontario, is we see weather come up from the US across the Great Lakes, typically from around Detroit or north off of Lake Huron. It sweeps across, picks up moisture, and we get this very humid weather. If it's coming from the south, it's coming from Ohio, and it's coming across Lake Erie. Once again, it picks up, and we end up with some very humid summers here and winters as well in southern Ontario. Puck goes up, it's a little bladey, but there's options. And we just had a bit of an issue. We've just lost video temporarily, but it will be back. We just have to do a little bit of our magic here, and video will be back. And I think that should be it. You should have video back. I will have received confirmation shortly as to whether that's true. And I have received word that yes, indeed. I would like to upgrade my equipment. However, we tried to go with a fairly replaceable system here. Over the top there. Steady play from Canada. Not risking it. Nick Wright centers it to Rumi. And collapsing there across. There's a bit of a collision. It's grabbed, but there is going to be, everyone's up. And I'm breathing a sigh of relief. Twisted ankles are not fun. Canada works it up the field, 5-1.
I did get 80, and I don't know what.
So, awaiting from Kim Baxter the numbers.
It was from 80, right?
Kim. And just letting me know to wait for a second. They're going to confirm.
80 to 16.
And that was Kevin, number 80, to Adriana, number 16. Adriana Rowe, another player out of Southern Ontario.
Put some more on the back of my neck. I just don't want to touch it.
So speaking about Rumi, he is from out west, but goes to university in
my
McGill,
gosh, yeah.
which is
I know, I
in
can feel
Quebec
my
in the
cup.
east. So probably about a 6-hour flight for him if he decides to fly. Smiling on the Canadian sideline now. Ireland had a good zone there. I think the pressure was pretty good. and we're going to be looking to see how that develops throughout the game. They are the underdogs, though.
Out to one.
Behind me, some of the representatives from WFDF. They're touring. The Congress was here. This zone is interesting. There's one lady deep, and they don't huck it. So good handlers, and a huge 4 men in the front, and comes through the middle, and a defense there by number 27, Taryn Chan. And good mark. And Josh Marin with the grab in the end zone. His sister playing. So Josh Marin with the grab. And I believe it was Peter Yu who might have thrown that. Not quite sure. We'll get the confirmation.
Kim, who threw it?
84.
Oh, thank you. So the thrower there was actually number 84, Eamon Pinto. So not Peter Yu. Peter, you get a mark against you there. You need to go out and you need to score or throw a few more. And only then will I mention your name. Regardless, Josh, a local player as well, plays on Grand Trunk, one of the Toronto area teams. And part of the university system, at least until recently as well. His sister, Jordan, plays for the Canadian women's team. She's also played on Capitals, which if you watch Ultimate in North America or you watch the Next Gen coverage, then you have seen them, the Capitals, quite often. And considered one of Canada's strongest teams, along with Traffic. So many of these players that you're seeing, they play on club teams here, high-level club teams.
Yo, I thought we were gonna get torn up there. Like, well, after the first one. I was like, oh shit, don't like left.
Good pull. Taking three-hander setup zone now. And this is a tight zone. They've switched the character of the zone. They put a lady in there. And the lady they put in is number 72, Krista Kotwag. Her brother playing on the open team. And Krista grabs it in the end zone. So a very tall cup coming out, and a throw from Greer Hunt.
Krista just scored.
Leaf. To Krista Kotwag. Now Krista playing her club ultimate with, I believe, Union Ultimate, which is Ontario's #1 team. They were finalists last year at Canadian Ultimate Championships. A very strong team. Members of Team Canada from a few years ago on that team as well. If in case anyone's out there, a name you might recognize, Andy Milne, also on that squad. But overall, just very strong. But timeout taken here.
Was it 17?
And it's 7-1 Canada leads. Canadian Ultimate Championships, we will do a free live stream for that as well from the stands at Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver in 3 weeks. You are welcome to come and watch again online for free. Get a bit of a preview of some of the teams that will be heading to Worlds next year. Walking by the Crow's Nest, or the high view here, is Carson Turner, number 28 on Canada's open team.
Heavy, eh? Yeah.
29, I apologize. Yes, he's correcting me. My eyesight isn't what it used to be from 2 days ago. Yeah, so coming up on Next Gen will be Canada versus Japan and the open division. It's sure to be a big game. Carson, one of the the old players on the under-23 team, plays on Phoenix out of Ottawa, has played in Waterloo, played with Maverick. And the Ireland coach, wish I could get a microphone in there. In the future we will. Once we can afford it, we will do quite a few interesting things. But telling his team probably to calm down, move the disc more confidently. You know how to throw, and we've seen it. These players know how to throw. It's just a little bit of pressure, and especially when you have Canadian pressure, yes, we tend to play a little bit close and physically, but that's because we're bouncing around. We're anticipating where you're going to move. Sometimes we're going to move further back. Of course, we're going to move to you ahead of time, and that's the defensive style. You can call the foul, we'll take the foul. But not that we're attempting to intentionally foul. I think that's the main message I'd like to send. Coaches of Team Canada and or managers as they're listed, Hadia Rodriguez, and Dee, as many of you probably know her. She's the one with the clipboard there, coaching the team. She's played Capitals, high-level player, Team Canada. Quite prominent in Europe. She's played quite a bit there with some of the teams picked up. Also played quite a bit in the U.S., so a player that is very strong and well regarded. Taylor Martin, also a coach. And then probably the one that I might know best, and I'm going to slaughter his last name intentionally, John Ayuduk.
Head in the game. Who do you want to do?
So we like to have fun with the way that we pronounce his last name. It is John Ayuduk, or Ayuduk. Depends on how you want to do it. He's all smiles on the sideline right now, and he's known from his time on Furious. He's also runs many of the juniors programs and teams out of Vancouver in the Vancouver Ultimate League area. Ireland now playing against his own. This is a three-person, basically a chinchilla or rabbit. And Marin on the mark, but now they've switched into a man, and a big hut goes up. Lots of time and room taken confidently. Well played, no mark. Play just catching up. All options down the field taken. Now we have a mark. Play is caught up, and we can set up into a vertical most likely, and it has downfield. Good break. Ireland moving the disc very well. So far taking the right risks. Looking for a dump handler. Oh, and this one's a bit ambitious. Oh, but a good run and putting the body on the line there to try and get it. It's a run there by number 91, Connor Hogan. Up line, overthrown, and Ireland get it back. And that throw a little bit nonchalant. Needed to be a low to high riser. Allows the runner to get to it. Connor. Oh, and a travel call. That was a pretty break, though. JJ on the mark. Number 51, and they put it in the end zone. And that's a great play by Ireland. They had moved it up the field the full way. They had an unfortunate turn in the end zone, but the second chance, no mistakes. And thrown by Brian Henderson. We've seen him throw their other point as well. He's been getting the disc quite a bit. Catch by number 23, and I apologize.
48-53.
Emmer Stoughton. Stoughton will get a better pronunciation. I do understand there's, in Ireland, many dialects, different languages, and I'll do my best to learn. Might need to put together a phonetic guide for myself as well. But I'll get it from one of the Irish players here. Ireland, who caught that? Who caught that?
Dude, share that to Emer. Emer's got to cut
Thank
it.
you.
I'm sorry, yeah.
It was
22, yeah.
I just didn't know how to pronounce it.
Oh.
Catch by Emer in the end zone.
That's what it looked like.
And I must say, that was very pretty movement. Started with a break. There was lots of space to operate. And you could see the stack was very deep into space, and that allowed these handlers who are moving well, who have the best hands for the team, to really operate and take care of that disc. That's a good big pull. And Ireland moving with some energy now. Pressure's going to be on right away. That's a good pull because lots of pressure. There's a side split stack, isolated player. Ooh, and it slipped out a little bit on the catch, and they try for the greatest. And there's a player stays down. Now he's back up slowly. And an injury, shoulder, and he did have a little bit over. We hope Kevin's okay. Ireland is not taking a sub. And Guggen coming on for Kevin.
Sideline, please.
Sideline called.
Sideline.
Brian Henderson with the disc. We've seen him be such a big part of this game so far for Ireland. Looking for the options, and it's well positioned. Puck goes up, lots of space, and Ireland break. And now there's a skip in their step, and the throw by Alan Fitzpatrick was perfect. It sailed over. It wasn't a backhand, which would have meant maybe the sun out of the corner of the eye, but went right over the Canadian defender. No shot on the disc, and taken with two hands comfortably to the chest, taking such good care of it. And Ireland here, both of their, or all three of their points so far have been pretty quick in terms of the number of passes they've needed to get that through. Whereas it's been a grind the other way or a quick throwaway, Ireland has been taking advantage. And the catch there by David Ferguson. So Alan Fitzpatrick to David Ferguson. We apologize for not being able to reply to your tweets. The connection we're on, unfortunately, limits us slightly for our download speeds. Our upload speeds, though, I hope looking good. Ireland with another big pull. They've got energy. They're playing well. And this is going to be deep in the end zone. A bit of an error.
Passive.
This is a better position. Guggen coming back. Looking deep. He's got someone deep. And this is sailing. And taken well in the end zone, creating good separation. And Cindy Trong taking it right at the front. Good shot from Guggen. It's a tough wind. It's a tough crosswind at this time. I don't know if you can see the flags. We're gonna just show that to you. But they're coming pretty much directly towards us. At now Canada leading 8-3, showing that they too can make quick work, and that's what they're always looking for, the deep shot. And that's what you have to defend against Canada, is that almost everyone. Yeah, I had it hooked up, Kevin. And almost everyone on this team can throw deep and throw deep well. Bringing 3+ full lines, Canada, with, of course, as the home team, many players. Ireland bringing a large squad as well, with 3+ lines. Ireland about a 6-hour flight from Toronto, so not too far. But then again, we're used to flying distances here in Canada. I typically head over for a few European tournaments. Last year, I was in Japan for Worlds. It was a short 12-hour journey, our flight, and then additional journeys within Japan. Not too far. It's also a big pull from Canada, but the defensive pressure isn't there. They'll get 1, maybe 2 passes off, and it is a zone, and you can see they've changed it up. It's a shorter line up front. That means the midfields should be a little bit tougher to get through. Ireland moving it well, pops up, but good touch on the disc to keep it close. The over the top is very dangerous for Ireland here. And in exchange, they're getting ready to switch to man, and they've gone to man now. Swung wide, in man, options, not available underneath. And this is, as I said, the grind. Lots of options. And picked up by number 44, Erin Busson, also a Southern Ontario player. Oh, and she goes for the layout. Erin plays on PPF, one of Canada's top 3 women's teams, well, top 4. Oh, and a try for it for Callahan, but not happening. Floated, Ireland down with the disc. Wants to huck it. Gonna try up line, goes to the middle, good cut back, good confidence. Once again looking for the deep, but it's a grind. There's no pressure defensively from Canada right now. And Ireland now calls timeout on the doorstep. Probably had to stall 2 or 3. And we're gonna just pop downstairs to get a drink of water and appreciate any feedback you have to offer. Actually, because it's the first half, no timeout available for Ireland. Stall count goes up by 2. That rule I learned yesterday from one of our responses on Twitter. Thank you. I'm learning so much about the international rules and the rule changes. And I think that's one of the tough things, is that the rule changes from year to year. We have to get out of our habits. And we are working on getting our rule sets closer and closer. Float over the top and stepped in, and Ireland with a big break. Make it 8-4. We'll get you the numbers on that, on the players, quite soon. Just adjusting the camera there, notify that I was in the view. So 8-4, Ireland getting a few breaks in there.
No, I didn't find it right. I bussed here for 3 hours.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. And Kim going out.
Like a nice random woman on campus just like drove me all the way here. She was just like a maintenance worker, and I was like, how do you get to the field? She's like, just get in the back and I'll drive you there. I was like, this is
So a throw from Keith to Ross. And the Irish players there having a good time here, and they had a little bit of a rough start, but they've played well here in the latter part of this first half. Canada now once again on 0. If they score this point, they take half. As you can see, their ranging quite isn't there yet. The touch needs to be a little bit better.
I got Nick on turn. What's the force?
And wind from the southwest. We had a threat and still probably have a threat
I also want to take her.
of thunderstorms today, or thunder showers. Just goes out. It's going to be taken at the break. Yes, we put our hands in the air and we clap. I think the rule is only one hand needed. We'll put them both up there. And Nick Wright. Bring it up, horizontal stack. Deep strike going to be coming from number 16, Adriana Rowe. She's coming back in for the under. And there's a travel called. It's going to come back. It was a good grab. And many discs. But Nicole Vidal had the grab after the throw from Adriana. And the setup going back to a vertical. Fairly important because there's a high stall count. Needs to be a reset to Rumi. Rumi is played on Blackfish out of the Vancouver area. Nick Rumi, gets to Rumi, lots of room, takes it high, and this should be an easy half. And we're gonna take a break here at halftime. Canada played well in the first half. Ireland coming back with a bit of a run. And Next Gen now going to be setting up during halftime here, so you might see the camera shaking a little bit as they move up and down the ladder, as do I. We're going to put the camera on Ireland. They are the visitors, and we're happy to have everyone. Good first half, though, overall. For both teams, we've seen jitters from both sides. Ireland seems to have gotten over it. Canada still a little bit. That needs to be worked on. Anyhow, we'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes. If you do enjoy the stream, please let us know. If you have any suggestions, let us know. If you've got any embarrassing stories, absolutely you need to tell us immediately. Until then, we're gonna go get something to eat. And we're back. Sorry about that delay. Fixing the live stream, our connection here kind of dropped out again. And so hopefully we have a better connection again now, but if not, we'll keep doing our best to continue fixing it. TC scores coming out of half. Ireland with a zone. And our live stream isn't quite back to normal, so I'm gonna pop down there and try to fix it again. Unfortunately, that means that you're gonna be stuck with this view for a few minutes.
Left, David! Left, David! Left, David! Left shoulder, Josh! Left shoulder! Josh! Left shoulder! Go, Josh! Go, Josh! Go, Josh! JJ, go!
Where's that cardboard? What are you using the cardboard for?
Do you have a bag, Coach Jens?
Bag? Do you have a plastic bag? Oh, okay. Just take the whole thing.
Good? It's 11 to 15.
What is the name of the girl in the class? Number 7.
Yeah, he's going over the street, that's all right. Home scores 11-13. The score is now 11-4 Canada.
45 seconds!
Score update field one. Field one. Japan scores 26 with the assist, 8 for the goal. Score Japan 12, US 11.
Wow.
Thank you, Bill.
50 seconds!
Women's? I think it's 12-11 women's Japan versus US.
Big games today. Japan, US, and Canada, Colombia right now.
12-11.
Alright. Yeah, girls play US tonight. Yeah. This showcase game, yeah. Should be fun.
Bag?
John's right there.
If it 30 seconds, call a stop time.
Oh, we need to call. Can you ready win medical? Channel 5. Sorry? Channel 5? Field 3 to medical? Oh, Jack's calling it in. So we're at 30 seconds there. I'm stopping my clock. Do you want to stop yours too? Can you pause it? And then instead of adding on the time later, we'll just stop it and start it. I think they tell us to just keep track of how much time. Fine.
Where's the radio?
Why?
She's asking me for the radio. She's asking me to get the radio.
Table 3. Oh.
Going to field 3.
Table 3. We turn it.
I just wanted to check that you guys have stopped your game clock for the injury that's lasting longer than
Field 3, we stop the game clock.
thanks. Over.
Over. No.
So she caught it.
Off their shoulder. Well, Krista gets to use her medical practice. She's training to be a nurse. It's usually collarbone. It's usually collarbone that falls.
I hurt my arm, like my elbow and my wrist.
That's actually a really good idea.
For update field 1. Going to field 1. Number 22. Goal Ryan 30. Score Japan 30. US 11. Thank you, field 1.
Greasy disc. I don't know.
You're getting all your scores rearranged. That one. Oh. And yeah. It actually means 4. So if you put the some ones don't have anything on the back, and that's how I use for double distance. Yeah. I self-diagnosed. For what? Oh. I think they're coming.
Where's medical? Where's the doctor?
Oh, they're gonna walk her? They probably stabilized her.
So look at the score. She was at universe points.
After a long hiatus, we are back.
Yep. Tell me when you're ready to push it.
Live stream should be working. We apologize. There was a bit of injury and or call there for a little bit. Score now 11-4.
So you injure yourself off and that's a touch of distance. When they do that, you can press.
We've had an interesting second half. Canada has kind of come out a little bit hard and scored the points, but it's been a back and forth. We're about 20-30 minutes into the second half, so only really 2 points scored, and both by Canada so far. JJ moving it up. Good grab. Oh, and unfortunately, underthrown. Number 3, Connor Casey picking it up, centering it, and it's being moved back to the side. Unfortunately, I missed the name.
Come on, Ross.
Call for a greatest from the sideline. And that throw from Keith just drifts OB. Wind, not really too much of a factor now. There is a gentle breeze, but it is just that, a breeze. Krista. And then underthrown. Taken well by Keith. On the run, he's looking back at the disc. And unmarked, but now marked. Wait for over the top throw. You could see the defender. And well, lots of room for Keith again. Connor. And then there's a call here. Down, or travel called by Hugh. Actually, that was number 17, I apologize. And number 17 is Matthew Goodkey. That's Matthew with 1 T. Break, lots of options. That was a good break. Again, Keith with a disc. Lots of rotation around the disc. Next Gen coverage will be up next, and they have a nice internet connection. They're saying they went out and they got a better wireless stick. And there was a pick quite a while ago in the vertical stack. That's Caitlin with the disc. Not quite sure though. Oh, and a push in the back foul called. No contest. Sorry, with the disc was Emer earlier. It's number 23. Looked like a 5. Well, it adds up to 5. And a head spike to top that off, and Ireland on the board in the second half. It's now 11-5.
That's an easy one. I like it.
27.
Field 3 score update. Best scores 27 to 95. Score is 65. Over.
Field 3, thank you, over.
It's now 11-5. And about under 20 minutes left in this game. Good pull. As that disc went through, it bounced a little bit, so wind coming in from the west, starting to play a factor. Vertical stack, looking for options. Has a deep cut. Well blocked off. Desarumi takes it close to the sideline. Reset. It's easy. Options on this side. Nick moves it to the middle. And a turnover. Ireland now. And Brian Henderson taking control. Calling himself to the disc from across the field and wandering over there. Eventually. And picks it up and puts it right away. And this one is good. A little bit of collision in the air, no call. Didn't have full control, was also trying to keep it towed in. Rumi. Confusion in the middle. Nick looking deep. No option there, goes to Rumi. Lots of space to operate in. And there's a call. And Rumi having a bit of a joke with the sideline. Having a comment about the lost shoot, taking a little bit of a break. Everyone's doing equipment adjustments. Rumi's rail thin, so he's adjusting all of his exoskeleton support. And a huck available and takes it, and not a good one. A little slippery on the hands. Jokes could be made, but this is a very serious situation and occasion. There's absolutely no humor here at the Fields whatsoever. So still unsure about what game is coming up next, but we'll try to get that schedule figured out for you and up soon. And it's picked up and sent again the other way, and there's multiples underneath. Oh, and tipped. Rumi coming around. There's hammer. And Ireland break 11-6. Now that's a tough point for Canada, but there's a call. There's a call right now.
There's no hard cap.
And perhaps not a call. I think they're talking about disc space because Rumi came back and wandered around the player. So it's not an actual call about the point. It is a point, 11-6. I did appear to intrude disc space. Throw there, I think, from Connor.
I'm not worried about that. I'm talking, I have
About 15 minutes left in this game. Canada's still a long way away from taking it.
Yeah, so how much time is
We don't have to think about it.
What does it say? 1 minute 34, 1 hour 34.
Who threw and caught that?
Connor Hogan to Liam Fletcher.
Thank you. Just having a quick chat there with Ross. That was from Connor to Fletcher.
was wondering. 60 off and so we're going to
So number 9, Liam Fletcher catching the hammer.
Let's go, Arlen, let's go! Let's go, Arlen, let's go!
There's 5 minutes. We just have to make sure.
The second half now, it appears, as soon as I'm back to commentating, Ireland
So that's
doing
why I always said
better.
that. Might forget.
In that case, I'm going to stay up here because I want a close, good game. Brian, again a high pole. This one seems to be sailing out of bounds though, and it does. Lands about there. Now, it's very clear that if the wind wasn't there, that would have come in on the corner or the end zone, perhaps even a little bit in the middle, but the wind caught it at some point. Nick Wright bringing the disc up. 5-2 setup. Guggen going deep. Far sideline, fired from Brian, back up to Guggen. Lots of speed there. Good hands. And finishes off. That was quick movement all around, and I believe that's Brian with the catch. And the throw from Cindy, number 4.
Nice play.
Canada makes it 12-6.
Home scores 4-2. Score is now 12-6.
So fast movement through the vertical stack there by Canada. Really powering through. If you're watching the live stream again, thank you for rejoining us. Apparently we had our internet drop out and then come back up, and we'll looked like it was going to be pretty steady last night and this morning. And someone probably tripped on a plug somewhere. Dee giving final instructions before wandering off the field. Really not really wandering, she walks with purpose. It's a good pull, but it does the same thing that Brian's did, and even goes further. Wonder if there'll be a contest later to see who can pull it the furthest out of bounds after making it past the opposing team's brick. That would be interesting. I'd want to play in that. Looks like it's a zone coming from Canada. And Connor with the disc. Lots of support back. Hammer. Good hammer. Well placed. That was exactly where she was. She didn't have to move. Connor again with the disc. Back with the disc. Really dictating the play. Now it's going to man, and another hammer at the top. This is exactly what they needed to do. And he finishes it. Well, the catch there by number 30, not number 36, but I think number 35, Mr. Murphy. I'll have to figure out how to pronounce his name. But now 12-7, Ireland not bothered at all by the zone. Very simple. Over the top, 3 passes in the middle, and then flipped into the end zone. You get your names at some point, but
So then,
Ireland looking good.
But then it's after this point we had to.
The Irish players Just wandering off the bottom of the screen, enjoying being here. The weather is great. It's going to be a hot day though. A very hot day, and the sun is strong and very few clouds in the sky.
60 seconds!
I just received a call from my dentist. I think I should call them back after this game. Let's see what Ireland's D-line can bring here. They have been playing reasonably well. They've gotten a few breaks back on Canada, so we can expect good pressure here. So low pull, safe. Gets there fast. Canada be able to get 2-3 passes off. And it's a zone. It's the same zone that Canada brought, but better mid pressure. Nick. This is Cindy. It's to Rumi. Easily to Rumi. Motion on the sideline here by Caitlin. Back to Rumi. Caitlin's going up a little bit to space. Cindy's on the far side. Hammer, pressure, and gets the D. Looking deep, and it's going to be intercepted. Good speed, Cindy. Again to Hugh, back to Rumi. Rumi looking deep. That's a good one. It's floating. It's gonna be a battle, but Kevin brings it down. And a defensive movement was very good. Started by Cindy's interception, and she had great closing speed, and she's a little bit. Is that actually Cindy? You're gonna have to double check that number. I don't actually think it was.
15.
I think the D there actually, if I'm reading this correctly, number 28, Tammy Chu. Hey Rumi, did Tammy get the D? Okay, so the D actually by Tammy, not by Cindy. I was only able to see part of one number and I had to guess on that, but great closing speed by Tammy. Absolutely took away the disc, and then instead of slowing it and bringing it back to the front of the end zone, immediately looked to get rid of it. Knew she had handler support. Came to Hugh, then to Rumi in the middle, and then a big huck to the end zone. This one's floating. It's going to stay in.
Because the games are longer, they should be allowed to have an extra timeout per half. Because it's games of 17.
Defensive effort there, bid. And it is man D. Really poachy. And good float. And this one has lots of air underneath it. And taken easily. Ireland's offense executing well. Making it 13-8. Canada still leads, but Ireland much more confidence now than they had earlier. Canada giving a bit more room on the marks. Not bringing the same energy they brought at the beginning of the game. This defensive sequence there was important on Canada's part because they did have a few shots at the disc, but there were 3 Irish players comfortably ahead of any Canadian player when that disc went to the end zone. So great huck as well down the end zone, or down the sideline, and then just floated comfortably just to the middle. Could not have been better at that point. That's all I've got to say. Canada important offensive sequence now. Next game from Next Gen is Japan versus Canada, I believe, in Open. This is a big matchup. That'll be available on the Next Gen network. Said they've got a much better internet connection now, so you should be able to get a very good stream. This is another good pull. This one is very good, coming close to the sideline, and that means that it pushes the mid player back further for that reset. And a huck by Guggen, a bit low. And once again, a little bit sweaty palms here from the humidity. West Coast players not as used to how humid it is here in Toronto for everyone else. Brian. Back to Brian. I suspect we'll see a lot of him more on the international stage. He's going to dictate the play as a handler. Oh, fantastic upline cut. I've just received a note. It's pronounced Oshin, or Oshin. It's pretty interesting. Space discussion, possibly. And right after this game, we will be packing up quickly here, so our recap will be very quick so that Next Gen can get in there and bring you a nice high-quality stream. Hot, sunshiny day, wonderful weather here. You do need sunscreen today. Really compressed play here on the field. It needs really one swing break, but that break through the middle, and Ireland 13-9. Canada's handlers have to pick up their game. There need to be good pucks that can move over the top. And a timeout being called by Canada in the last few minutes of the game. And Ireland cheering, possibly for that, but also possibly for their great defensive efforts. I do know that when I cause a team to take a timeout, I do cheer that.
Canada's timeout.
So I think after this game, we'll be looking at cap. I'm just going to check with the timekeepers.
No. Goes to 15. Wait, is that what it is? Yeah, 15, yeah.
It can take
Correct.
all day, yeah.
They can take all day.
Yeah.
Perfect. So this game will be going to 15. It is right now 13-9. And it goes to 15 no matter what. So your Next Gen stream might be delayed a little bit. Japan continuing to warm up. That game happening at 11, but first one of these teams needs to get to 15. And apparently they can take all day. That might be interesting. The longest sequence to get to 15. The way Ireland's playing, they've started to close up the gap. They're going 4 ladies. Signal is that they're going, Canada's going with 4 ladies because they are receiving the disc. And Canada's ladies have been playing very well. Really, the person that has let Canada down is actually nobody. It's been just Ireland's taken and played very well. It's going to be coming out of an important timeout. Canada's D-line is going to be itching to get out there, but an adjustment by the Canadian coaches here, going 4 ladies with 3 handlers. It looks like the 3 gentlemen will probably be handling. And Canada's handlers have not had issues in moving the disc amongst the handlers so far. Maybe a few drops and bobbles here and there. Pulls a big, good one. It's going to be deep in the end zone, coming out of the sun. Center to Rumi. Comes out to Cindy. It's a little bit short. A hand blocked, but Rumi gets it. Very crowded. And a foul. And Rumi being used to that to some degree. But Adriana had caught the disc, came off of the defender there. I got a little bit excited watching the play because it was such good movement. And Nick Wright toes it in on the sideline for a pass from Rumi. And you can see Rumi went and dried his hands off. It's a hot wind. It's not a cooling breeze here. It is going to be like a blow dryer out here later today, which is wonderful weather. I enjoy any sort of weather. I head up north to play in an outdoor ultimate tournament where it has been minus 20 Celsius in March up near in Sudbury. Canada now lead 14-9. Good sequence there for Canada. Nick, Rumi, Cindy, Adriana, Rumi. Almost got a hand block there in the Adriana to Rumi pass, and then Nick in the end zone.
60 seconds!
It's alright, like, she didn't really know what I wanted.
Canada's D-line.
Tammy does that sometimes.
It's going to be important. If they get the turn, they get the D here. That is the game. 14-9, game to 15. That is a good pull. Taken deep, and there's a deep option. Good defensive pressure, but there's an injury or some sort of collision, foul call on the far side. Stall count's going to come down a little bit. It's going to go to 2, it looks like. It's horizontal setup by Ireland. 3 handlers. Lot of pressure. Josh putting a little bit of a physical mark on. Reset to the middle. Looking for a hawk. It's a good shot. Taken high and early. Looking for help. Goes up line. These are good cuts from Ireland. And a hammer here. No, it's going to come closer to the line, and that's an easy point. And the defense was chasing the whole time. And there's a backhand force which can always mess people up. And Canada still leading 14. So is it 10 on now, I believe? We're not quite sure. Scoreboard hasn't been updated yet, but it might be updated on your screen.
45 seconds!
Canada this time going with 3 women. On Ayuduk, giving last-minute instructions. So yes, the score I believe should be 14-10. The scoreboard not updated on the back, but updated on the other side. Big celebrations elsewhere on the field. We're gonna have to find out what that was for, but it appears to be a big crowd down there. Or they're clapping, might be Australia. So what I'm hearing from Next Gen is US women tied with Japan 16-16. Nick left open in the middle, no mark. They can go downfield. No options so far. Late bail. Back to Nick. Calling for ins. Far side. Adriana. Back to Nick. Lots of room. Now Hugh wants to huck it, has the option, but oh, and just pressure under the disc, and the wind gusted, and it floated. And there's a big floater. And Kevin easily gets the D. So US wins 17-16 over Japan in the women's game, thanks to Next Gen for that update. Canada now on O again. Adriana creating space. Gonna get it in the middle. Needs to move it. There's no options, and that's the problem. The continuation simply isn't there. Ryan, Nick wants to put it. It's gonna come back to Hugh. And Ireland with some good D here, and Canada not cutting well. They're cutting after the catch rather than anticipating it. And you can see multiple cutters. Kevin, Nick. And there's the game. Tammy to Adriana. And Ireland, hard-fought match. Well, ultimately, the shaky start results in a Canada victory. And wasn't an easy one. By no means was this an easy game. 15-10, the final result. And we look forward to seeing you in our next match. We'll advertise what it'll be quite soon. But if you're looking to watch the Japan-Canada game in Open coming up next, NextGen is carrying that, and they have a fast internet connection now, which should give you a good quality stream. Anyways, for I'm Ultimate, this is Tushar Singh signing off, and I hope you've enjoyed the game.